Today is July 6th. Today's quote is entitled, "You Might Be Dangerous." And this is a quote that was sent to me by a devotee. And the author is Marshall Goldsmith, and he developed a system called nonviolent communication, and how to listen and how to speak in ways which are not judgmental, but that enhance understanding between people and enhance relationships. And I like this quote, so I want to share it with you. We are dangerous when we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel. So the word conscious is interesting because in my life I realized that when I was younger I was unconscious of many things, and probably I'm still unconscious of many things that I will realize in the future that I'm unconscious of. And this example here is that sometimes we might blame someone or something or some situation for our failure or our lack of success, complete success, when in fact it's not the fault of that person or situation, it's our fault. And so we become dangerous in a relationship because relationships can be very much disturbed when people don't accept responsibility for their part of the relationship or their fault in the situation. And it's disturbing for us personally because if I'm making excuses for my failures, the problem is I don't recognize why I'm failing, and therefore there's nothing to correct. If I don't know the problem, I can't correct it. So if I don't recognize my responsibility that I did something wrong, or maybe it's just I have the wrong attitude, and that's why this didn't work out, I can't correct it because I'm not recognizing it or I'm not admitting it. So when we make an excuse, it means we remove ourselves from being the cause of that problem, when in fact we may be. Now, if you want to take the concept of responsibility to the highest level, then you can say whatever happens in your life is your responsibility. Whatever outcomes are coming is your responsibility. And a lot of devotees will say, but I was forced into certain situations because I had to maintain a family or I had to this or that. But when you think about it, you'll see that oftentimes there's options for behaving or thinking that we didn't take into consideration, and that we have more responsibility for outcomes than we think. So the most empowering way to think is that, well, whatever is happening, let me take responsibility for it. Because then, if I don't like it, I can go back and look at my actions and ask myself, well, what action can I change, or could I have changed, that would cause a different outcome? Or what actions can I take now that will cause different outcomes? Especially what Marshall Goldberg, Rosenberg, is referring to is in relationships, when we don't take responsibility for whatever we're doing to cause a problem in the relationship. It's very, very difficult to improve the relationship, and especially difficult on the other person. So I like this quote because relationships are so important for us as devotees. And many of us recognize we may not be that well equipped to always have good relationships with everybody, and it would be wise for us to develop those skills. So taking responsibility for a relationship that is not going well, asking yourself, what did I do, or how could I make it better? Is there anything I can do in this situation? Is it something that I'm not admitting that I did wrong, or I'm not admitting a fault? Whatever I can do to take responsibility for a relationship to make it better is really important. The last thing I want to say is that sometimes I'll ask devotees, and I ask myself this also, if the relationship is not working out with another person, say, okay, let's say we take you out of that relationship and we take another person in that relationship. Would there be the same problem? That could be husband and wife. Okay, husband, you're having a problem with your wife. Okay, let's take you out and put another person in there. Would that person have the same problem? Or I'm having a problem with another devotee. Okay, I remove myself, put another devotee in this situation. Would another devotee have the same problem? the likelihood of the answer is no, they wouldn't. Or if there's somebody that wouldn't, then we ask myself, okay, well, why wouldn't they? What's the difference? It's not that I should think anyone in this situation would have a problem with this devotee, but rather I should ask, would everyone in this situation have a problem with that devotee? And the answer is probably not. So then I can learn. What would that devotee have done differently?